everyone. You're all here this morning for first appearance. My name is Judge Christy Ruppe. The purpose of this hearing is to inform you of the charges against you and determine whether there is probable cause for your arrest. Probable cause only means that it's more likely than not that you committed the crime in which you've been arrested for. As you stand before me this morning, you are considered not guilty of what you've been charged with. That status will stay with you through each stage of these proceedings up until changed by you if you plea out to the case or the state attorney's office if they prove the case against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. In all likelihood, you were arrested on a warrant or a new charge. Either way, you were given a bond pursuant to the bond schedule for the 5th Judicial Circuit. I will determine this morning whether to keep that bond the same, increase it, decrease it, or whether there are any other conditions of pretrial release which will be imposed upon you. I will also determine this morning whether you're going to hire a private attorney, represent yourself, or whether you would like the assistance of the public defender's office in your case. You are entitled to make a phone call to let friends, family, colleagues know where you are. If you haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, please let me know. I'll make sure that happens this morning. Finally, and most importantly, you have the right to remain silent, and I encourage you to do so. These hearings are recorded, and typically there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom writing down everything that you say. And anything you say about the facts of your case can and will be used against you in your case in the prosecution down the road. So don't say anything about the facts of your case this morning. At this time, I'd like everyone to raise your right hand so I can place you under oath. Swear affirm the testimony before the court will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay, you can go ahead and put your hands down. Did you already read Mr. Garcia?
Yes.
Okay. As I call your name, please come forward to the podium. First case I'm going to call is Rafael Garcia. Good morning, Mr. Garcia.
Buenos días, señor García.
What is your date of birth?
Morning.
¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
Diciembre 24 del 72.
December 24th.
What year?
¿De qué año?
72.
72.
Okay. He is here this morning charged with domestic battery.
Está aquí esta mañana con una acusación de agresión física intrafamiliar.
I did find probable cause for his arrest.
Hallo que hay suficientes indicios para su detención.
Does he want the assistance of the public defender?
¿Usted quiere la ayuda de un defensor público?
Sí.
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent him.
Asigno que que lo ayude un defensor público para que lo represente.
Can you have him give me his address where he lives?
Señor, ¿cuál es su dirección? Y me puede hablar un poquito más alto que no lo escucho. Your Honor, I just told him to speak a little louder because I was having a hard time hearing him. Sí, señor, su dirección.
7252 Spring Hill Drive.
Your Honor, he said 7252 and I wasn't able to understand the street name.
Spring Hill Drive, is that right?
¿Usted dijo Spring Hill Drive?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
Okay. How long has he lived there?
¿Hace cuánto tiempo vive ahí?
Un año.
One year.
Does he have a job?
¿Usted trabaja?
Sí.
Yes.
What kind of work does he do?
¿Qué tipo de trabajo hace?
Trabajo de Republic Service, recogido de basura.
I work with Republic Services, collecting trash.
Okay. State, does Mr. Rafael Garcia have a prior record?
¿El señor García tiene antecedentes penales, Fiscalía?
No, Your Honor. Okay.
No, su señoría.
Mr. Garcia, I'm going to set your bond at $50.
Señor García, le voy a fijar la fianza en $50.
I want you to have no contact with Yanira Garcia.
No quiero que tenga ninguna comunicación o contacto con Yanira García.
Yanira Garcia. I'm going to hold you until 4 p.m. today in case Ms. Garcia wants to file an injunction against you.
Lo voy a detener todavía hasta las 4 de la tarde hoy en caso de que la señora García quiera presentar una orden de protección contra usted.
You're to have no contact with her.
No puede tener ningún tipo de comunicación con ella
Until this case is resolved or until you hear differently from a judge.
hasta que este caso se resuelva o hasta que un juez le diga lo contrario.
If you do have contact with her,
Si usted sí tiene contacto o comunicación con ella,
while this case is pending,
mientras este caso todavía está pendiente,
you'll be arrested for a new charge and held without bond.
lo detendrán por otro cargo y lo encarcelarán sin fianza.
Do you understand?
¿Usted entiende eso?
Sí, correcto, entiendo.
Yes, correct, I understand.
Okay, we'll see you back to court on September 20th at 9 a.m.
Lo vamos a ver otra vez de regreso ante el tribunal el 20 de septiembre a las 9 de la mañana.
Yes, you were. You said you wanted a public defender, right? Keep up. Thank you, my friend.
Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Gracias, señor García.
Thank you.
Patricia O'Connor. Miss O'Connor, what's your date of birth?
2/17/82.
Speak into the microphone. I can't hear you.
2/17/82.
Okay, you are here charged with a writ of battle attachment indicating that you have not paid your child support. What are you doing for work lately?
Well, I don't have a job, but I've been.
When was the last time you worked?
Well, I'm doing community hours to try to get my license back, to pay the ticket, to get a job.
Okay, what type of community service are you doing?
I'm working up at the Eagles bar, and I clean and I cook and stuff.
You clean, you cook. How many hours are you volunteering per week?
It depends on whatever they've got for me to do. I have $5,800 in tickets, and I've been doing it for the last 6 months.
Okay.
My hours I have.
On average, how many hours a week are you doing community service?
I would say about 35, 40 every week.
How much money can you come up with in order to get out of jail today?
I could ask my brother if he could come up with like 100 or so.
How much?
Like 100, my brother maybe.
I'm going to find that you have the ability to pay child support, that during the period of non-payment you were able-bodied, employed or employable, and able to comply with the conditions. You're working 35 hours a week on average for community service for free for yourself, but have been unable to pay your community service. I'm going to find, or your child support. I'm going to find that you're in willful contempt of paying child support, that you have the ability to pay the purge. I'm going to hold you in the Hernando County Jail for 10 days or until you come up with $100. Starting today. So if you come up with $100, you'll get out of jail. If you don't, you'll stay there for 10 days.
Okay.
Melanie Olson. Miss Olson, what's your date of birth?
309-1971.
You're here today charged with domestic battery. I did find probable cause for that. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Myself, please.
Okay. I have an address for you on Rowan Road in Brooksville. Is that where you reside?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that where Richard Hayneck resides as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have another place to stay?
Pardon?
Do you have another place to stay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long have you lived on Rowan Road?
This December will be 4 years.
Okay. Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
All right. State, does she have a prior record?
This is Miss Dellen Artis.
This is Melanie Olson.
Sorry, Judge, give me a moment. Judge, she has a battery from 2013 in Hernando that was dropped, but other than that, I'm not showing any history.
Okay. All right, Ms. Olson, I'm going to set your bond at $100. I'm going to hold you until 4 p.m. today in case Mr. Haynick wants to file an injunction against you. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Mr. Haynick while this case is pending. That means do not call, do not write, do not email, do not have anyone else call, write, or email. Do not have any contact with him whatsoever. If you do have contact with him while this case is pending, you'll be charged with a new crime and held without bond until you resolve all your cases. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're going to see you back to court on September 20th at 9 a.m., okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Anastasia Grievous. And Ms. Grievous, what's your date of birth?
November 15, 1970.
You're here today charged with DUI. Did find probable cause for your arrest. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
I'm going to hire somebody.
Who are you going to hire?
I don't know. I'm going to hire a lawyer.
Okay. State, does she have a prior record?
I'm sorry?
Hold on, I'm asking the state if you have a prior record.
Judge, I am showing some type of pretrial diversion on a fraud case in 2016, and that's it.
Okay. Ms. Grievous, I have an address for you on High Street in Newport Richey. Is that where you currently reside?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
I just moved there the end of May.
Where'd you live before that?
I lived on Calvary Road, 1210.
Is that Pasco County?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a job?
Not currently, no.
All right, I'm going to set your bond at $500. We're going to see you back to court on September 20th at 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
Rebecca D. Leonardis. Good morning, ma'am. What's your date of birth?
Good morning, Your Honor. It's 6/30/1969.
Okay, you're here today charged with the domestic battery. I did find probable cause for that. Did you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody? Or you want the public defender's office?
Public defender, please.
I'll provisionally appoint the public defender's office. State, does she have a prior record?
Yes, ma'am. 2009, there was an arrest for a violation of an injunction, domestic injunction that was dropped. 2009, a few days earlier, a contempt of court violation injunction. There's also looks like some type of possible pretrial diversion on drug charges, and that was out of Newport Richey to Pasco.
And when was that?
2007.
Ms. D. Leonardis, I have an address for you on Ceylon Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you currently reside?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Do you live with Darren D. Leonardis?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have someplace else you can go?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm going to give you a bond of $500. As a condition of bond, I'm going to order that you have no contact with Darren D. Leonardis, okay?
Yes,
I'm going to
ma'am.
hold you until 4 o'clock today in case he wants to file an injunction against you. Do not call him, do not write him, do not email him, do not have anyone else call, write, or email him. And have no contact with him whatsoever. If he calls you, you need to hang up the phone. If you see him out somewhere, you need to turn around and go the other way. Any way that you can imagine having contact with him, I forbid you to do so. If you do have contact with Mr. D. Leonardis while this case is pending, you'll be arrested on a new charge of violating my order, and you'll be held without bond until these cases are resolved. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've appointed the public defender. We'll see you back to court on September 20th at 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Zachary Beam. Mr. Beam, what's your date of birth?
11/28/90.
Okay, you were here this morning for a false imprisonment, 2 counts of battery, and 1 count of domestic battery. Identify probable cause for all 3 of those. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Appoint the public defender on both cases. State does he have a prior record?
2 cases?
Yes, ma'am. He currently has 17 MM 2993. We would ask if he had been arrested on that the court RCO and the offense date was 7/19.
What's that case number again?
17 MM 2993.
When is that set for? Madam Clerk?
Ma'am, there's 2 cases?
I'm not asking you a question. You need to be quiet.
I think he's also currently on a 2-year term probation out of Marion County on a felony.
That was the warrant that was issued. I don't see any kind of court date set on that. I think that's one of the domestic battery charges.
Okay. Okay.
2993, that's what he was just arrested on.
It appears there is that Marion County case that he's on probation. There was a Citrus County violation of probation. The Marion County charges look like they're possibly some kind of fraud because there's an arrest in December of 2016. There's also narcotics out of Lake City, 2016. October of 2016, just a misdemeanor. Hernando County in June of 2016, petty theft. There's a Citrus County violation of probation out of 2015 that was on a dealing in stolen property and false owner info of pawned items. There was a violation of probation out of Levy County. And then, although it was dropped, Judge, in 2009 in Citrus County, there was an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. But it was dropped.
Okay. Mr. Beam, I have an address for you on Cortez Boulevard. Is that where you live?
I live on 6004 Cortez Boulevard, yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
Probably I'd say about a year and a half.
Do you have a job?
I'm my resident. Yes, ma'am. I just got a job at A&B Tree Service, but I won't be able to keep my job today because my mother will be letting him know that I'm not showing up because of this. But I was remodeling the apartments at where I live before that.
Okay.
There is some Pennsylvania history, Judge, that involved drugs.
Okay. Mr. Beam, did you live in Pennsylvania?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you live in Pennsylvania?
I believe it was back in 2012, 2011.
Okay. All right. For the false imprisonment charge, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000. For the battery charge on that case, your bond is $2,000. For the count 2 battery, the bond is $2,000. You're going to have no contact with Miranda Fritz. I've appointed the public defender, and your court date on that is September 25th at 8:30 in the morning in front of Judge Toner. On the second case I have is a domestic battery.
I see crazy like
Richard
this.
Clark.
Don't talk about the facts of your case, Mr. Beam, or any circumstances underlying your probation. This isn't the time to do that.
Understand, yes, sir.
Anyway. All right. I did find probable cause for that. I appointed the public defender. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Richard Clark. Do not call, do not write, do not email, do not have anyone else call, write, or email. Any way that you can have contact with him, I forbid you to do so. If you do have contact with Richard Clark or Miranda Fritz during the period of while these cases are pending, you will be charged with a new crime and held without bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'm going to hold till 4 p.m. for Richard Clark since that is domestic.
Judge, did you say on that separate domestic that's going to be $1,000?
I haven't said that one.
Oh, okay.
For Richard Clark?
Yes, ma'am. Zachariah Beam.
For that one, it's going to be $5,000. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000 on that domestic battery.
Thank you.
So it's a total of $17,000.
That date will be 9/20 also.
Yeah, I don't have no way to get on, ma'am. I have no money, nothing like that. I'm also on Social Security.
Okay, well, we have a good place for you right there. So we have a court date on September 25th.
I'm wrong, so.
Is that the same court date? And September 20th. So it's September 20th for domestic battery and September 25th for the felonies. Okay? Get in touch with your public defender. Adam Crespo. Mr. Crespo, what's your date of birth?
12/17/85.
Okay, you were here this morning for possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, and loitering or prowling. A different probable cause for all three. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody? Or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender.
Provision appoint the public defender to represent you. State to see the prior record. Do you have a pending case?
He has a case with Judge Turner on line 15.
What's that case number?
I didn't write down, sorry.
I do show a drug charge arrest in May of 2017, failure to appear in Hernando, June of 2017. The burglary of conveyance conviction, 2016. It looks like possibly probation for that, and then drug charges, April 2016. There is a there might be a registry thing. It's hard to tell if that's his date of birth. There's also a failure to appear or some unlicensed operation of motor vehicle, but a failure to appear in 2014 out of East Hampton.
Okay.
And a violation of a protection order. I apologize, I can't tell what state.
That's all right. Madam Clerk, does he have an open case right now?
Looks like there's a pretrial set with Judge Turner on case number 16 CF 1764.
And when is that set for?
And that is set for the 9/5. No. Sorry, that's 2016. Is that correct?
Okay, so that case is not open? Okay. So it does not have an open case right now?
I don't see anything open at this point.
Okay. Pretty sure he was in front of me a couple weeks ago. At first appearance.
It was possibly on the FTA, but I don't know
It's
what
dropped?
his position
The
is.
case that was dropped by
Okay.
16 and 17, paraphernalia and controlled substances.
Okay. All right, Mr. Crespo, I have an address for you. I don't have an address for you. What's your address? Do you have an address?
7374 Pond Circle, Spring Hill, Florida.
7374 what circle?
Pond,
And where's that? Is that Brooksville?
Spring Hill.
Spring Hill? Zip code?
34606, 3464.
Okay. For count one, possession of paraphernalia, possession of marijuana, I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Possession of drug paraphernalia, bond is $2,000. And loitering or prowling, I'll leave at $1,000. We're going to see you back to court on September 20th. I've appointed the public defender, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Christopher Morissette. Mr. Morissette, what's your date of birth?
3783.
Okay, you're here this morning charged with possession of oxycodone. The bond is currently $2,000. Possession of paraphernalia, the bond is currently $1,000. And resisting an officer without violence, the bond is currently $1,000. I did find probable cause for all three. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody? Or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender.
Provisionally appoint the public defender's office. State to see the prior record.
Yes, Judge. I'm seeing a lot of history out of Georgia involving a lot of misdemeanor type charges, and that was in the early 2000s. In Florida, I'm showing 2016 violation of probation. He was on probation for controlled substance without prescription and paraphernalia for August 2016 arrest. Petty theft, Brooksville 2014, convicted. Duelist, disorderly intox, no valid, leaving the scene, obstruction, all Brooksville 2014. I show a failure to appear, February of 2013. Grand theft, adjudicated guilty, 2013. Here in Hernando, prior disorderly intox, 2010, and then there was a battery in 2009, conviction, prior DUI allegation, 2008.
Okay. Mr. Morissette, do you have an address?
Yes.
What's your address?
7447 Colorado Street.
Is that Spring Hill?
Brooksville.
What's the zip? What's the zip code?
34601.
34601.
Okay. Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Count 1, I'm going to set your bond at $4,000. Count 2, your bond is $2,000. Count 3, your bond is $2,000. We'll see you back to court September 25th at 8:30 in the morning. Daniel Pollack.
Did you appoint the PD, Your Honor?
I did.
You did? Thank you.
What's his date?
Mr. Pollack, what's your date of birth?
8161.
You're here this morning for a domestic battery. I did find probable cause for that. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody? Do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender.
State, this is a prior record.
I do show a cannabis at a 94. That's it.
Okay.
That was
Mr.
that
Pollack, I
day.
have an address for you in High Point Boulevard in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
Since April.
Where'd you live before that?
Pinehurst in Spring Hill.
Okay. Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
Directional bore. Work for Chicago Utility.
Okay. Do you have someplace else to go other than High Point Boulevard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to give you a bond of $100. I want you to have no contact with Amber Carlton. Does she live at the High Point Boulevard address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can't go back there. Don't have any contact with her whatsoever. Do not call her, do not write her, do not email her, do not have anyone else write, call, or email her. If she calls you, you need to hang up the phone. If you see her out somewhere, you need to turn around and go the other way. Any way that you can imagine having contact with her, I forbid you to do so. If you do have contact with her while this case is pending, you will be arrested on a new charge and held without bond until you resolve these cases. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to hold you till 4 p.m. in case Ms. Carlton wants to file an injunction against you. That injunction will be very specific as far as how many feet you need to stay away from her home, her vehicle, or her work. So we're going to hold you till 4 o'clock in case she files that paperwork. We know where to find you. We're going to see you back to court on September 20th at 9 a.m. I've appointed the public defender, so when you bond out, you want to reach out to your public defender, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Frank Torr. And Mr. Torr, what's your date of birth?
12/26/1959.
Okay, you were here this morning for a domestic battery. It's currently no bond. A regular battery, it's $1,000, and a resisting an officer without violence, it's $1,000. I did find probable cause for all three of those. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defenders.
I'm sorry, that's 2 counts of domestic battery, 1 battery, and 1 resisting. So it's all 4 charges. I'll appoint the public defender's office. State, does he have a prior record?
Yes, ma'am. He was arrested in August of 2016 for battery on a person 65 or older. That was dropped. Showing a resisting and a battery. The battery is adjudicated guilty in 99 out of Cape Coral. A battery in 1998 arrest that was for domestic that was null crossed. A battery in 97 out of Cape Coral that was dropped. And traffic charge at 83 DUI.
Okay. Mr. Torr, I have an address for you on Gulf Coast Drive in Hernando Beach. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you living there with your brothers?
Yes, my 2 brothers.
Do you have someplace else you can go?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. For count 1, domestic battery, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Count 2, domestic battery, your bond is $1,000. Count 3, battery, the bond is $1,000. And resisting an officer, the bond is $1,000. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Joseph Torr, Robert Torr, or Scott Nagel. If you have any contact with them while this case is pending, you'll be held without bond and arrested on a new charge. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to hold you till 4 p.m. in case your brothers want to file an injunction against you. I've appointed the public defender, and we'll see you back to court September 20th at 9 a.m.